8, 7, 6, 5. All right, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us for our very first Parent University session of the 2025-26 school year. That's kind of exciting. My name is Wyndham Kemsley. I am the Executive Director of the Communications Department for Rio Rancho Public Schools. I am joined by Mr. Michael Baker, who is the Chief Operations Officer for the district. We're going to be going through a slide presentation about a very important topic, the upcoming bond election that we are going through in November. So before we get to that, I just want to go over some light housekeeping items, if you will. So we are going to be going through this presentation sort of slide by slide, but if you have any questions, the chat function in our YouTube page or the YouTube video right now is active. So if you have questions, please post them in there. We'll be keeping an eye on those and going through those towards the end of the presentation. Please keep things civil and happy. If you have any questions aside from what is in the presentation, feel free to reach out via email at communications@rrps.net. If you're watching this after the live stream has ended, you can reach out to us via that email. That again is communications@rrps.net. And we'll get you answers to your questions. But with that, I think that we'll go ahead and just pass it over to Mike if you're ready.
I am ready. Thank you, Wyndham. So, Rio Rancho Public Schools is going out to the voters and asking the voters to vote on a bond issue, $80 million bond issue, in order to improve the infrastructure of our school sites. And what I'd like to do is just go over what those projects are. So on November 4th, the voters will have an opportunity to vote for the bond issue here in Rio Rancho. I do want to say this as we start off, and that is if the voters vote yes for the bond issue, your tax rate as a property owner in Rio Rancho will not increase. And so sometimes I get the question, well, that doesn't make sense because you're asking for money. Who is going to pay for it? Well, the voters in Rio Rancho pay for it, but the tax rates will not increase. And the reason why is because Rio Rancho Public Schools, we are on a bonding cycle. And what that bonding cycle means is that as we add more projects onto the taxing rolls, we are paying off other projects. And so the tax rates remain the same. So if the voters choose to vote yes, tax rates will not increase. Okay, what are some of those projects that the school board have approved for this particular bond issue? One of the most important one is a new pre-K facility. And a couple of the advantages with this particular project, and I'm not going to read verbatim what's on the slide, but just go over some of the highlights. And that is the state of New Mexico will be paying approximately 60% of the project. So that's we get to leverage some state money as well. That's a real big advantage. But the real critical need is that in Rio Rancho, we simply do not have the capacity to serve the number of people that need these pre-K services. And so we need to expand. And if you're familiar with our current Shining Star Preschool, it is probably it is designed in order to handle appropriately the special population that is in that school. It is an incredible facility, and the students that go there and the parents, They really, really like that school. So what we want to do is we want to replicate that school and offer pre-K services on the other part um, of our city. Next project is is to get $20 million for the completion of our 2023 bond projects. And so you may say, well, we already voted for that. Yes, we did, but what happened to the cost of construction during or post COVID is just absolutely insane. And to give you some ideas at how crazy construction cost is right now, during 2020, during COVID, we were building Joe Harris Elementary School. And the cost per square foot for Joe Harris Elementary School was right around $262 a square foot. Currently, we are building a new Independence High School. In fact, that literally is about to be, the ground is about to be broken and cleared pretty much as we speak. The new site is off of Northern Boulevard. And if you're driving up and down Northern, you can see this blue fencing around the property line. But we're looking at that facility costing us approximately about $850 per square foot. And so the cost of construction has dramatically increased, and therefore we do need some additional funding in order to finish up those projects. Next project is a STEAM magnet school that will go at Rio Rancho Elementary School. And um, and what's happening in that community, it's an aging community. So we have a lot more capacity at that elementary school. In addition to that, the school is 50 years old. And so we've put a lot of band-aids on it over the years. But it's about time that I hate to say this, but we get a wrecking ball to part of that school and start from scratch. And so the idea is there's a real strong emphasis in science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. And so we want to offer that specialty for those students citywide that want to come to that location for that type of education. And kind of on a to go along with that, we do want, as we talk about things like physics, for example, we want to build a planetarium. In addition to that, we also have, which is very, very interesting, we're home to the National UFO Historical Record Center. Right now is located in some portable buildings at MLK. We would like to relocate that center um, at this site. And the focus of the center is really not to provide information about UFO sightings, but it really has to do with critical thinking, the scientific method, and the investigative process. Next project, something that we do every year, simply because roofs deteriorate, HVAC or heating, ventilation, and air conditioning units deteriorate over time. We need to improve our drainage. Our intercom systems are dated and need to be replaced. We also need a new bus loop at Vista Grande. Those are some of the projects that we need to do that will cost approximately $10 million. And one of the things that we've been doing over the last several years is replacing HVAC systems at our school sites, replacing roofs. And this year, we really got the benefit of that because we had all the systems were working pretty well this summer. And so when our students went to school in August, they went to school in a cool environment. And we know if the HVAC system breaks and those classrooms get really, really hot, learning is not going to take place. So maintaining our current buildings is extremely important. land acquisition, and a new Enchanted Mesa daycare center. So as we grow as a city, and we are, um, I believe we are the fastest growing city in the state. As a matter of fact, when you look at the 2020 census, almost all of the growth in the state of New Mexico was a result of the city of Rio Rancho. And that growth is expected to continue. With that, we will likely increase our student population. And so we're looking at, for example, building new schools, such as a new middle school on the south end of the city, and we need to buy some land to be prepared in the future to build that facility. Currently, we do have a daycare facility that basically um, takes care of the infants of some of our employees. But the facility that they're in right now is aging and is not really adequate. And so we need to replace that facility, and we need to increase the capacity. And that also is going to go hand in hand with the governor's new initiative on universal daycare, giving families approximately $1,000. I believe that's $1,000 for each child to offset the tremendous cost of daycare. Athletic programs or athletic projects and our fine arts. So again, when we talk about repair and maintenance, we have our running tracks at Cleveland and at Rio Rancho High School that are in desperate need of repair. We also need to replace grass with turf, and we need to replace or maintain the marching band fields at Rio Rancho High School and at Cleveland High School. To kind of wrap things up, again, the district is asking the voters to vote on an $80 million bond issue in order to maintain our school buildings and to increase security at our facilities. And if the voters do vote yes on $80 million, we will get over $100 million with state matching funds. And again, no increase to the current tax rate if the voters vote yes. So thank you for your time. And do we have any questions?
Does not look like we have any questions right now. We'll give it a couple of seconds for anybody who is kind of wrapping up here. But again, if you are watching this after the fact, after the live stream has ended, and you have a question, please feel free to reach out via communications@rrps.net, and we'll get you taken care of. It doesn't look like anything's coming in, so we'll go ahead and just wrap up this presentation here. Thank you all for joining us this afternoon and for taking some time out of your day to learn about this very important project and I should say set of projects that we have planned for the betterment of our district and the overall success of our students. Once again, I'll be a broken record here. If you have questions, please reach out to us. You can also kind of get a synopsis of all of the bond projects on our website. That is www.rrps.net. So we encourage you to visit our website and take a look at the bond webpage. Again, any questions, reach out to us. But other than that, we appreciate your time and look forward to this November 4th. Go out and make your voice heard and cast your vote at the polls. All right. Thank you, everybody.